Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the DJ Sessions presents the Virtual Sessions. I'm your host Darren, and right now I'm coming to you from the virtual studios in Seattle, Washington, and coming in from halfway around the world in that number one party place you all want to go to. And if you haven't been there, get there now. Ibiza, we have Nima Gorji coming in from Ibiza. How you doing today?
Hey, Darren, how are you?
Great.
How's it going?
It's
You know
going
what?
good. I'm super excited. We're getting back ramped up to
Nice.
getting things going with the DJ sessions again after kind of a little bit of a hiatus that I took last year. I know that it's been
Okay.
about almost 2 years since we last spoke. Almost 2
Yes.
years and 11 months to the date, because I believe the last time we spoke, it was either you were having an event on August 23rd in 2022, which is my birthday,
Mm,
and I remember
okay.
that,
All right.
or maybe it was on August 23rd, which is my birthday. Either way, it's been too long.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
you've
yeah.
been
It's
up
been
to a
a
lot of
well.
stuff.
We tried it last time, but we
There
kind of
was just so much chaos going on in 2023. I had moved
yeah,
into a new place. I was getting
yeah,
ready to get situated. That took me about till June of last year. And
yeah,
then, I wanted to book interviews. I just wasn't feeling in the right headspace. That happens to people that are artists. Yes, it even happens
yeah.
to
Of course.
virtual hosts as well as musicians
Yes,
and
for
talent.
sure.
You get that writer's block or that moment. You're just like, let me get everything situated. Did some clearinghouse, got some major things underway. I don't notice if you notice I've lost a lot of weight,
Yes,
probably.
yes. I mean, you look very good now.
Yeah, but no, we're getting ready to get things up and rolling here with the
Yeah.
DJ sessions again. Super excited to have you on the show, and I
Thank you
definitely
for
want to make
inviting
it
me.
out to Ibiza here soon.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Now it's time to come here. So,
exactly. No, it's funny. I just was speaking with Martin Ayer last week, and
mm,
he invited me to come out to Rave the Planet in Berlin next month. And it's my 50th birthday next month. And I was going to go to New York and go party up there with a friend of mine because he'd never been. And that fell through. And Martin was like, well, why don't you come over to Berlin and do Rave the Planet with us? I'm like, okay, I've never been to Berlin before. This will be an experience.
well, that is about time to come there. I mean, you need to
Yeah.
try Berlin. I mean, Berlin in Europe, I mean, as you know, as the rumors goes, it's the place to be for raving. I mean, this is
Well,
for
he
sure.
says there's 4 million people
Yeah,
live there,
yeah,
108 techno clubs.
yes,
Like,
absolutely.
whoa, we
It's
got maybe like
unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Yeah,
15 and we got 2 million people here. So I don't know what I'm going to get into over there. All I know is I'm going to be on the top of their double decker party
yeah.
bus, streaming DJs live, doing interviews in the middle of
Oh yeah,
250,000
you
people.
will be very busy there if you come with your platform. Definitely, you're going to be very
You know what
busy
I found out?
as much in Ibiza. I mean, that's
Yeah,
for
you know
sure.
what I found out just recently too, and this is a little off topic, but we'll get back into the interview in a second. Have you ever
Mm.
heard of the Enhow Hotel there?
No, no, I have to say.
Apparently it's this
No.
hotel.
Okay.
It's totally like this architecturally awesome design hotel. I didn't know what it was when I was booking it, but it has studios in the hotel that you can rent. It's for musicians.
Oh,
And
amazing.
if you want a guitar brought up to your room, they'll bring you a guitar up to your room. If you want to rent and book studio time, you can book studio time in these studios that overlook the river, which are right across the way from Riverside Studios. I
Wow,
mean, it is like
that's
I'm
incredible.
like, whoa,
Wow.
totally
Yeah,
blown
yeah,
away. But I got this hotel
yeah.
there when I'm going to be visiting over there. So super excited for that. I was thinking about making it an extended trip and maybe coming over to Spain,
Well,
but
yeah, definitely. I mean, if you come to Berlin, it's not so much. I mean, it's like 2.5 hours flight. I mean, then you're in Ibiza. So there is a direct flight from
oh
Berlin to
gosh,
Ibiza.
don't tempt me, man. Don't tempt me. This is no.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you come that long. I mean, that's far away from. Definitely, you have to. Yeah, visit Ibiza as well.
We'll talk. You know what? We got to talk off camera, off time about this because maybe that
Okay.
might be a little extended vacation. I might put myself on and come down there and check things out. But let's get
Yeah.
back to the interview. We got important things to
So
talk about. A little bit of time
how?
here. So NG Tracks,
Yeah.
your label.
Yes.
You start. When did you start that? Was that
Yeah,
in
I started. It's from 2014. Actually, it's
14?
like 10
Okay.
years old. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I started 2014. The releases started to come out from end of 2014, basically until now, and I've been doing a lot of vinyl releases. I've been doing a lot more digital releases on NG Tracks, and also involved it into some events as well. And this year again, I started some NG tracks on as well, because I am doing a weekly show on Pure Ibiza Radio here in Ibiza, and it's one of the most let's say uh, famous, or no, I mean it's more like a wanted radio stations in Ibiza and around the world, around the globe. And I started like 1 year ago, like a residency every week, like an NG Tracks radio show. And this year the summer came in, and some of my friends, they opened a kind of a mini club in Ibiza town at the port, and it's called Analogic. And I said, guys, why don't we just do at the Wednesdays, I have the radio show at 5 p.m, and then we can do a 10 p.m. after show down your spot, and do a kind of showcase there. So I started this weekly NG Tracks nights at Analogic, and it's growing slowly. It's a new concept, of course, but I mean, I can see during the summer season it's growing bit by bit. Every week is more and more people come in, and it's another adventure for
Was
NG
that
Tracks.
I saw you
Yeah.
had something on the 15th of July. What was that event? I'm trying to, I'm
So
going to your socials right now.
the 15th of July, because I have another event called Join.
Join. Yes, that's what I wanted
Yeah,
to
yeah,
talk with you about.
exactly. I have another concept I started like a couple of years ago, and I did it in Ibiza Underground Club, and I kind of took off there. I had some really nice DJ guests there, and basically this year I couldn't do that in Ibiza Underground Club because of circumstances, and that's why I do now NG Tracks nights in this mini club there in town. But yeah, 15 to finish that, I did join together with my booking agency in South America from Chile called Fan Booking, and we did this kind of join collaboration thing in Pasha in Barcelona. So
Yeah, that's
yeah, that was
awesome
that was
stuff out there. Now, is it
yeah.
only other NG artists that get to appear on the radio show, or are you open to taking other
Yeah,
artists
yeah,
and submitting
absolutely.
their
No,
tracks?
absolutely. I have actually kind of every second week or something, I have a new guest on the show. Either they are sending me a podcast to stream it, or I mean to play it, and then I talk over it sometimes in the radio. Or I have this Wednesday, I have Camilo Gil coming from Chile. He's coming to an island, and I put him live with me on the radio. And after that, we do the night session at Analogic. So yeah, I have guests from NG Tracks, and besides that, Camilo Gil, like I mentioned, this Wednesday, he's also doing a remix now. He did a remix for my label for a new project from a guy from England called Gudj, Gudj, Gudj or Gudj, however you spell it, pronounce it. And he did a remix for that. He did a remix for that EP, and it suits very well now. So he's coming here to the island, and I put him on the radio, and I invite him also to our night. So
Nice.
yeah,
It's
yeah, I
always
try to involve the whole family, the whole group of people who releasing on the label. It's like I have this couple of platforms like NG Tracks, and then join parties. Like depends how we go along. So
yeah. No, I saw that. I was going to ask you about. I was at the website
yeah,
earlier. I saw all the artists that you have on the label, but then I saw you have a booking section as well. So you're kind
yes,
of
yeah,
a one-stop shop. You book artists, you sign artists, you distribute
yes,
artists to your platforms. That's awesome. That's kind of a mantra, or I think that the
it's all
DJ sessions founding thing was
yeah.
is everyone always thinks I'm a DJ. And I'm like,
Mm,
no, I'm an executive producer. I work with DJs. And one of the
yeah,
things we want to get up to, and I think I may have spoken to you about this last time we talked, is having the DJ sessions label, being able to manage bookings for the artists that are on our shows, throwing events and getting
yes,
out there. And we're slowly starting to get back to that after everything that happened over the last couple of years, and really moving the ball forward. So that's really
mm.
awesome. That you have those mediums that you can get people out there. If you could describe the music, the labels. Now, if the label and the station, the radio stations and your events all have the same kind of genre of music, how would you describe that music in 3 words? What would you call it?
Well, I mean, you're asking the whole radio station, the genre they have. Actually, in electronic music, we have so many different genres in sub genres. Let's say inside
Yeah.
it. So, yeah, I mean, it goes from tech house to progressive house to techno to
Okay.
progressive techno. So all this, it goes in my area. It comes when it comes to my show. I will probably present it more in the minimal house and minimal kind of era, and
Okay.
area. So it's more like the micro house, micro minimal house, minimal tech kind of thing. You know what I mean? But I mean, I would play even classic house music if I have to, and that would go under the same kind of under the same vibe. So.
Absolutely. No,
Yeah,
when I bring on new resident DJs, they have to fill out their profile, and I
yeah,
send them to the Wikipedia page that
yeah.
explains electronic music, and it lists
Oh
all
my
the
God.
genres and then all the
Oh,
subgenres. And I say,
yeah.
you can choose from this, but don't
Yeah.
choose every single one.
No. It's just becoming. You know what? I still, when the people ask me, "What do you play?" I mean, it's like, well, I mean, first of all, it's electronic music, but then it goes to house, and between house and techno and deep electronic. I mean, I just choose your own genre if you want whatever you want, because it's really difficult nowadays. I mean, to say what you play, because I kind of play everything. I like to play across all genres in a way, but it's the way we are playing. Maybe is the different way. Is that makes a difference? The way we mix it together, the way it's put together, everything. It's kind of goes maybe under this kind of micro minimal style.
Mhm.
So yeah,
What can we expect in the near future coming from NG Tracks, from the label? Do you have anything you can talk about? Anything in the works? Something being
yeah,
released here soon, or
yeah,
a lot
sure.
of
As
stuff
I
being
mean,
released soon?
well, I mean, not that much actually now, because now we are in the summer season, and summer season usually we don't really release so much, but actually, I'm working on the two EPs now. I'm like I mentioned, one of them is with Gotch and Camilo Gil. Remix is coming out soon in beginning of August. This one is I've been working on for a while, and then the next one I'm working on is another guy who lives in Berlin. He's native Romanian, but lives in Berlin, and his artist name is Utip, and he did a couple of tracks for us, and plus I'm having Christian Burkhardt remix on it. He's one of the German legends, producers and DJs, and basically, yeah, this is coming in September. I hope everything is done by then, and then I'm working on something from myself. I mean, something I would like to do since a long time. I haven't done any NG tracks release actually. I mean, I do releases. I do monthly releases actually on Bandcamp, just by the name, like by my name, and there is no label involved. I don't involve my label. I just call it NG. I mean, like assign it NG. So it's like, I just want to have this direct from the artist, from me to the audience, and I'm free to do whatever I want, because I don't even. The reason I don't involve even my own label, because it's like my own label has a kind of a concept in a way, and I just want to be free of that still, to just, you know what I mean?
I'm glad you brought that up, because
Yeah,
that's the difficult thing when I've wrestled with just the idea of starting a label for the DJ sessions is,
yeah,
one, what genre are we going to do? Two, is
yeah,
it going to be in-house submissions, or are we going to take external submissions?
yeah.
Three, do I have time to listen to 300 submissions a day? If we really
Exactly.
open
Yeah,
the door, and
that's
what's that flavor going to be, and what we're really going to go out there and promote. And if we release as the DJ sessions, do we even put a name to it, or is it just the DJ sessions release this track? And maybe
mm,
it's a white label at first, or it's something that's not named at first, but we put it out there in rotation, and then we go,
yeah,
okay, this was produced by so and so. And
yes,
I've never ran that part. I have some people that'll help me out the back end, hopefully give me some good
yeah.
advice.
I mean,
I've
some
gone
some
that way, but
somehow you need some form of concept for your label, of course. It's like
Exactly.
you cannot let just, it's difficult just let it go wild, like let it go freestyle
Mhm.
totally. It's possible, but I mean, it's yeah.
Well, even if I said we want only house, tech house, progressive
uh,
house tracks, we're still
yeah.
going to get drum and bass submissions. We're still going to get techno. We're still going to get
Yeah. But I mean, you know what?
minimal.
It can suit that. I mean, if I have a very nice, I have actually released a digital release on NG Tracks that was not anything to do with house music or techno. It was actually breakbeats, and it was a very good, nice, deep breakbeat tracks that I really fell for. And I thought this suits NG Tracks. This is kind of the frequency, the sound. It suits NG Tracks, and it doesn't matter what type of, let's say, genre, but it has to in the frequency, it has to suit the label, of course.
Mhm. No, it's funny you bring that up, but like, you are the boss. You are in charge. So you're the Jeff Bezos, the Elon Musk. Not that I'm trying to attribute you to those characters or those personality types.
Well, I
You're
wish
the
I had their
boss.
money. I wish I
Yeah,
had their.
I
Because
exactly.
unfortunately, in our world, we don't make that kind of money at all.
No, unfortunately not.
It's all about love of the music.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's kind of the driving force behind the DJ
yeah,
sessions as well, is that we're very
yeah.
independently financed, but we
Mm,
can move in a direction that I want to take it. I'm the last person on the totem pole, and,
yeah.
and I gotta say, let's move this, let's do this.
Yes.
I found, after working for corporate America for a number of years,
Yeah.
that being my own boss and running my own company is where I
Yeah,
really
because
fit in and doing what I do.
the freedom to be creative is very it's very linked to intelligence, actually.
Wow.
So
I
yeah,
think that's a compliment.
that's a compliment. That's a compliment.
Thank
Take
you.
it from me.
If you could pick one of your productions as your most favorite one, which one would that be? And what's the thought behind it being your most favorite production that you've ever done that really resonates with you? I know
Hmm.
everyone says my productions are like my babies and they're all my children and I love every single one of them.
Well, you
But if
know
you had to
what? I
pick
mean,
a favorite,
yeah, of course, but I have kind of a very strange relationship with my productions, because not that I like them all in a way, but there are, of course, very few favorite ones that resonates with me, because I can still actually take them and play them myself. Because once you do something, once you produce the track, it's really, I'm done with it. I'm like, I just give it away, give it to the other ones, like do whatever if you want to do with it. You know what I mean? It's just like, I don't, I have difficulty to bring it up myself to presentation, but there is one or two actually I can still take it and play it, and it's one of them is called Chemtrail. I don't know if you know it. It was like from my old label called Veld Recordings, and it's a kind of a track from, when was it? 2000, maybe 14, 15, that area, the 14. Yeah, and I remember a few DJs like Radu from RPR. He started to play it suddenly in all kind of festivals and places in Ibiza. And this track, it never really go out of my mind in a way, because it has this special vibe on it into it. So it's called Chemtrail. Another one was called uh, Ghetto Crump. That was an old one from 2009 or 10 or something like that. That has also very much another yeah, quality that
nice.
I still try to make another one, and I can't. I can't get around it somehow.
You
So
know,
it's like, yeah.
I understand how sometimes that might be a difficult question for people to answer,
Mm,
especially if you've been doing this as long as you have.
yeah.
People have asked me over the years, what's your favorite episode of the DJ sessions? And I'm like,
Mm,
well, I have 2,500 of them. And
yeah.
my first producer I ever worked for, he's like, well, if you could
uh,
pick one, which would be your most memorable? And I'm like, well, every single one of them is memorable. It's a joy. It's a
yeah,
pleasure. I'm
yeah,
doing what I love to do. And every
exactly.
single episode, I've never
It's
had a
very
bad
difficult.
episode.
No. It's super difficult to say what is your favorite. I mean, again, it's a question like some people asking me, well, who's your favorite DJ? I say, oh my God. I mean, I don't know. There is so many of them, And I mean, of course, I can mention, let's say, maybe 10 of them. I mean, I cannot just say who's. There is
Yeah.
not one. I mean, you cannot mention one only. You know what I mean? It's
Well,
very, you know.
and something you mentioned too is that when you produce something, you get here and you don't look back on it anymore. And that's what I told my first producer. It was, that I worked with, and way back in the day, he's like, "Don't you ever go back and watch your old shows?" I'm like, "No, I produced the shows. I did the shows. They're in the can. I was there. I was live. I was in the mix doing it. I don't want to go back and watch it over and over. If I had to do that, I'd have to start at maybe episode 1.
Yeah.
And even if I watched an hour a day, it'd take me 2,500 days to get through every episode. No. And our episodes are usually an hour long. So we're talking years of content. I'm like, no, I don't go backwards like that. I'm producing this content for our viewers. It's for our fans, for our friends, or people out there that follow the show. And, they can go back and watch the archives, unless it's like this really cool exclusive mix that's done really well, like cinematography wise, that somebody puts together for me. I might go put that on in the background. Hint, hint, Nima, if you ever film in the clubs, but, I've had people go and carry gear up to the top of a mountain top and do a multicam shoot for an exclusive set for us. I've had people rent boats out and put pyrotechnics on the boat and do exclusive mixes for us and stuff. Some of those I'll go back because those are creative. Not that I'm necessarily anyone else that submitted a mix isn't creative. I'm just like, those are like, hey, check out what this person did. That was really cool. Now it's something that came across, and I don't know why Facebook is popping this up on my thread recently. It's kind of an interesting thing. It's somebody took this website and they've posted, and they take the different years from Ibiza and they say, these were the top tracks for this time period in Ibiza. So it's like 2001 to 2002, and they'll take the top track of the month that was playing. And I'm just like, oh my God, those are some of the classics that I just remember so much. These were like, these essential tracks were ones that if you were a DJ, you were playing this in the clubs. This has happened. It leads me into my next question. What essential track, which is out right now, that nobody should miss out on and that you're playing that's in your mix right now, where you're just like, this one's going to be a banger or it's coming out? I don't want you to get in trouble with anyone.
No.
But,
it's
something
very
like
difficult. Nowadays it's very difficult because it was a time, like you mentioned, it was easy to pinpoint the track of the year, the season track of I remember it was a time like when it was so big to be in house music here. It was like a Kings of Tomorrow. It's like this stuff like that. Just like that was a track of the year of Ibiza. And but these days are so many of them. It's like I'm struggling my brain to find one of them. I mean, to have as a. I would say what I'm playing a lot lately, like every time in a big party or something like that. I mean, it's Delight from Christian Burkhardt, which is like is it called Delight? I mean, I'm wondering now, what is it called? It's something called Delight or something. There's a track of him that was legendary from 10 years ago or 15 years ago, and it was played by so many. And I'm bringing it back again and he just released also his new classic albums, and it's one of those tracks, and it's been remixed by Franco Sinelli and other people. And I did a remix also for another track of him in this classic album. And this track is such a known track in Ibiza, actually, that I start to play again. And I hear also some other DJs start to play again. So every time we play it, there is a vocal inside it. So everybody's singing with it, with the vocal. So they go off with it, So, but besides that, I don't know. There's so many different tracks now. There's like,
I was in college a few years back, just redoing another business degree because I just love learning. And I was in a marketing class, and this is 2016, 17. And my instructor at the time, this is a statistic that's probably relevant that you could transfer into the music realm as well. But he said over 1 million videos are being released on YouTube every minute.
Yeah. Wow.
So if you take that from a music submission standpoint, where, you go back 24, 25 years ago, and, it was a vinyl release that came out. Digital was just making its way in, but I don't think there were any beat ports you could download MP3s, but digital wasn't there. It was vinyl. So if a vinyl release, you had a limited pressing, and it was what was in your crates, You know, so
Of
you're
course.
right. You can kind of pinpoint, hey, we released this in Germany, we released it in France, we released it in the UK, and maybe they sent 25 copies over to the States to Amoeba in New York or something over in San Francisco, you know, and you
Yeah,
could
yeah, yeah.
say, where is this getting placed from? Where are people coming online and finance? That's where it would come in from. But nowadays, you're right, to track something like that, it
Yeah,
goes
it's too
Beatport and
much.
it's
You can't keep track on them. I mean, it
yeah.
literally the word says it itself, you know, because it's like it's so much coming out on digital, and like you say, I mean, before was we could handle it, you know, it was certain, I mean, amount of release on vinyl every year, and we could keep track on them, you know, like and say, okay, these are the best ones, these are the track of the year, these are the now. I mean, you just nailed it with YouTube thing, you know. It's as much as tracks coming, it's submitted to any distribution, digital distributions every day, and
Yeah.
it's like it's unbelievable. But there are some labels are working very good, and there are some digital labels working very good on it. And you know, it depends how you work on them. You know, how you. I'm not even talking about my own label, because I'm still struggling. I'm alone about it, so it's like really difficult to handle everything together. But
Mhm.
there are some labels. Like recently, I released an EP on Soleiman Records on in Montreal in Canada, and this label has amazing way of working. I mean, I have to say, because they just take, they have a strategy about everything. They just go step by step to different medias, and then submit it to different medias, the media taking them and promoting them because they find it interesting. And this release is called Let's Talk EP, with Franco Sinelli remix on it, amazing remix he did for me. And but the label has been working so well, and it's like every week since 1.5 2 months now, I have like a new reviews, new kind of you know what I mean. It's like it's keeping it alive, and it's a digital release, so it depends of the label. You know, the labels are if you work on each release really specifically, give the time it takes, and give it away to all kind of magazines and reviews and blah blah blah, and it just works, you know, and it just
Mhm.
it keeps the hype up, and gives it another form of hype, and similar to what we had on vinyl,
Mhm.
similar on the vinyl releases somehow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where is the weirdest moment you've ever heard one of your own tracks play?
Where is the, I mean, what
What's the
do you mean?
most strangest moment? Like if you're like where's the weirdest moment you've ever had? Like you've heard one of your tracks play, like you
Ah,
didn't expect to hear it play, but
well, I
it
mean, not weird. I mean, some very exciting actually moments. I mean, somehow I mean, I was few times in Amnesia, and on the floor, hanging out there, and then suddenly I hear Luciano or some of the guys just playing my tracks. You know, suddenly it's just pumping up out one of my old tracks, and I was like, I know this track. I know it from somewhere. I've heard it. It's like, and then it's like, and then look at Luciano. It's like he's just pointing. It's like, you know, and I was like, oh my god, yeah. It's like, yeah. You know, I had this moment a few times. I mean, a few times, many times.
you know,
Um,
I was
so
just doing an immersive world experience earlier this morning with a company out of Germany, and one of the cool things they had in the I guess you don't call it virtual reality, because virtual reality is with the headsets. Immersive
yeah.
experience is when you can go online and do kind of a 3D world experience on your browser
Mm.
or on a mobile device, which I got schooled this morning on very, very, very
Okay.
nicely.
That sounds
But
interesting.
you know, we have a VR nightclub. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But one of the cool things they had in this VR nightclub is that you could pull up a virtual phone, and you had different things you could do on the phone. But on the phone, you could actually tap a button and it would tell you the track that was playing from the DJ, like Shazam. And then you could
Ah,
click a button and buy that track on Beatport in this virtual environment. Or I'm sorry, in this immersive experience environment.
okay. Yeah,
It
yeah.
was like, I go,
Very
so is that like Shazam for for an immersive experience? And I go, goes, yeah, that's exact. wow, that's exactly what it's like.
It's
You didn't even
exactly what it's like.
put
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
but it'd be
I
cool,
mean, is it kind of a in the metaverse, or I mean, is inside the metaverse, or is it? Or
it
is it?
won't be inside of
Yeah.
this. So I guess there's two camps when it comes to
Mm,
online or experiences in 3D environments. You have Web3, where you have these immersive interactive experiences, and then you have
yes.
the meta or the standalone or the headset experience, and our club is in VR chat. It's pretty cool. We're going to start doing a lot more
Mhm.
stuff there, but you have to have a headset in order to get in there. Well,
Okay.
not true. You could go VR chat. VR chat you can do on a PC, and go through our world in a 2D environment. So that's kind of cool. But it doesn't work on the Mac. Unfortunately, they haven't made it
No.
Mac version yet, which I wish they would, because then people wouldn't need a headset to go into
Mhm.
our clubs. And they could be. This interview is going into our VR nightclub right now on our big screen TV. Somebody went into Oculus, went into VR chat, or is on a PC. They could watch this episode
Nice.
right now
Yeah.
on a big, huge
Okay.
screen TV in our main dance room channel. I'll give you a tour for it sometime. Maybe we'll have to do
Yeah. Yeah.
something,
Yeah.
there.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, it was
Let's
just
try
really
some
cool.
technology.
People could and just when you were talking about having that experience of being in the club and the DJ is pointing at you saying this is your track, having that
Yeah.
experience. You see people in videos all the time. They're using their phone to try to Shazam the tracks or other. It's kind of a hidden thing that DJs will be like, what are they playing? And they'll try to Shazam it. And DJs will
Mm.
go, you're not going to find this. It's not released yet.
No.
Kind of cool stuff. But
No.
if you could give a production tip or insight to new producers out there, top number one thing to look out for, a suggestion for new producers out there, what would that be?
Well, to learn a lot about the engineering, about techniques, about actually about mixing, about mastering, about I'm still learning. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to be give any master class here, because I'm still myself searching so much on YouTube and things to learn things. I mean, to learn so much techniques, because there's so much new things out there, so much new plugins, so much new machines, analog, digital. I mean, it's basically, let's get into learn a bit of technique besides the music itself, because of course I'm always very quick to want to do music, want to produce some piece of music or a track, but then I realize, I'm lacking something else. I mean, to produce that what I want, and that's exactly engineering and techniques, and how to make things sound good, how to make a kick drum sound fat, how to make a bass come out a bit more. I mean, this is something that we all, I think, as producers should be learning. Should be put yourself into, unless you have so much money that you just pay an engineer and you just go to his studio and sit down and drink your champagne and then tell him what you want. But that's yeah.
I'm totally glad you brought up that part of the production process, because
Yeah.
the big buzz thing now is, and this has been for a couple of years now, though, is AI entering into the market, and producers, new
Yeah.
producers, or even current producers using AI to maybe generate even the underlying fundamentals of a track and say, okay, I got at least a start here with this, and then I'm going to go add on to that, or just producing a full AI generated track.
Yeah.
What is your take on AI, and how do you see
Well,
that changing the
I've been,
landscape of everything?
I've been watching it. I have some friends. They are creating some AI tracks and everything, all kind of things. I mean, from disco to rock and roll to how you know that. I mean, however you want it, you can have it. Still, I believe we are in this. I mean, it's not everybody can do it still. You know what I mean? It's not just because AI, you can create a piece of music. I believe you still have to have some knowledge of music, some knowledge of creating a melody, or knowing a type of melody, or knowing a type of music to create that. Even on AI, even you go in and write something, and then it comes out as a music creation. So I mean, I think we can do a lot of creative things with AI. I believe, because if I, for example, suddenly need a piece of vocal in my track, I'm doing already production in my little studio, and I'm just missing one kind of element that I could quickly bring it out and use it. Still, I have to be creative about it. You know what I mean? I cannot just like, it's not a magic just in the air. So I would use it. Yeah, definitely. Why not? Because this is something that you can. I need the piece of melody, you know, and I just like, you know what I mean, and 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 you can create that with AI. Why not? I mean, this is something revolutionary. And
Well, even just from an experimental standpoint, I mean, you know, it. Do some people call it cheating? The one word I heard over the last few years, going to ADE and talking with people about this,
Mm.
was that it doesn't have soul, and what you'd be missing would be the soul that an artist could put into that. But
Yes,
as it gets smarter and it learns, I guess if those are the terms, smarter and learns.
yes,
Now, we're not talking about Cyberdyne systems here, and
no, no,
T1000 is going to pop up and
no,
start
no, no,
DJing on the
no.
table, you know.
I
But
I believe he would get there. He would get there. I mean, I think people. I mean, come on. I mean, look at what's happening. You know, it's like the world is like it's like evolving
well,
and changing. It's such a fast pace. So no, it would come. It would come. The feelings, the emotions. I mean, it's already happening. It's already in some of the. I don't know actually, but I've heard some of the AI music. I mean, you can't tell at all if it's a human being is singing or is a. I mean, it's like,
nope,
so, you know. So what
nope.
are we
And that's
talking
going to
about?
be interesting to see how that all plays out.
Yeah,
You know, I work with a company kind of closely right now called Vibe AI, I believe. And what they'll do, it's not generating music, but if I
no
say I want a set list in Nima Gorji's
style.
style,
Hmm.
and they'll go out there and they'll scan Beatport and put together a whole track list for me
Yeah,
using AI to pull it all in, and it'll be all styles based upon what they think would do. And now I just got to be the DJ and mix those tracks together. Do they put them
yeah,
in the right order? Do they tell the story the right way? I don't know all the fundamentals behind that, but at least it's going to give me those tracks. I can listen to all those tracks and go, okay, great. Now I got a set that's going to be based on this style of music, at this tempo and this genre. And boom, my set selection is done for me now. I don't have to go out there and look up
yeah.
50, 80, 100. I had a producer once in the beginning of our series. This is like 2010. He goes, I spend
Mm.
2 to 3 hours a day looking for new music. And
Yeah.
I'm like, and you're not listening to the whole track. You're listening to maybe the first 10 minutes. Now
First,
you're looking maybe the waveforms, and you're like, what's this drop? What's
yeah,
this?
you just listen to the first seconds, and then you go in the middle, and then you go to the end. But I mean, it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, I mean, if you can have something comes in, somebody like an assistant comes in and selects some bunch of tracks for you and just lay in front of you and say, this is the 50 tracks you should listen to, and out of that you can find maybe 10 or 20 of them that you as a human being personally likes it, you know.
Well,
So
and that
yeah,
was something that it was an internal joke back in the day because I always, like I was saying earlier in the show, I never wanted to be a DJ. All my friends were DJs. All my nightclub promoters that I knew were DJs. I wanted to be an executive producer. I'm a video guy. I like technology. All that side of it. Let me handle that side of the fence. You handle the music production and DJ side of the fence. But the joke was, is like, if I ever DJ'd, I would have somebody go out and pick out tracks for me, put them in the order they're supposed to be in, and I would come up and I would play that set, and that would be my set. And I would do it in an online live streaming world, so I wouldn't have to necessarily read the crowd per se, as like I'm in a nightclub trying to drive people to go maybe buy drinks or worry about the
yeah.
aesthetics of the club and all that going on, because it was just an online set.
Well,
But
that would make it very. Let's say it's like as if you're a producer, but you're not a producer because you use a ghost producer.
it was a ghost DJ, is what we're going
Yeah,
to call
ghost
it.
DJ, basically is a ghost
DJ.
DJing. That I would not say that's not a DJing. That would be just like you're just playing a selection of music. You could be a radio, basically.
Which led to me actually kind of making a fake DJ profile on my website. My DJ name is the DJ ... sessions. And if you go, it's like, I'm not a DJ. I just play one on live streams. I enjoy pressing play of other people pressing play to play their music, and I take credit for their sets that they play. It's just like a whole facade. It's like a joke just on the back end.
It is a joke. I mean, sorry to say, but there is a lot of things happening now in the DJ world that is like not really. I don't consider it DJing. You know what I mean? So it's many new DJs came in with the wrong, with no background, with no. It's just maybe they have the looks, or they have some other guy behind that, like you say, selecting things for them. Even they go on the stage and playing with without any cables in the CDJs or in the mixer. I've seen that also, which is like, what is it, a DJ playback now? It was like before we had singers playback, just like singing with a microphone with no cable in it in the 80s and 90s, I remember, and that was called.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I
this
won't. Yeah, I won't go down that route because I don't want to alienate anyone from never
no,
coming on
no,
my
no,
show.
I know, I know. Well, anyway, I mean, I don't want to go yeah. This is the electronic music politics. We don't want to go there.
Yeah, if you could take one upcoming producer that really you could say, I want to put this producer in the spotlight. If you could choose one, because I know you got a bunch on your label, and I don't want you getting in any trouble here. But if you could take one producer that you think deserves to be in the spotlight right now, who would that be?
Oh, there's so many of them. Again, you know, it's like, oh, if you well, why people have to always ask to choose one. No, because it's so many good producers, you know, out there. Like I mentioned, one of my favorite producers, because he's working really hard and working really well in the studio. It's Christian Burkhardt. Another one I like as a producer is Luciano himself. I think he's an excellent producer. He's an amazing producer. He has so much talent. This guy, I'm still looking up to him. For example, I mean, Franco Sinelli from Argentina, he's an amazing producer. So I cannot really tell you one producer only. I mean, my favorite, Ricardo Villalobos, is one of the most iconic producers I see, because he does things so different than anyone else, you know. So yeah, here you go. I mentioned a few of them. Choose one.
Now, now, if you
Yeah.
could take one non-famous person and put them
Non-famous.
in the spotlight, other than your friends or family, like somebody who's really important to you, but non-famous, and put them in the spotlight, who means a lot to you, who would that be, and why would you put that person in the spotlight?
Well, non-famous ones. I I have to mention who I'm working with actually now. Actually, what I'm working with is one of the guys from Romania. I told you is coming out with the EP on the NG Tracks. I hear his talent. His name is Utip, and he is unknown right now. So as well as, but he has so much talent, and I hear all his music. He's sending me. It's like I'm hearing the production. I'm hearing. I'm like very impressed about it. I think he should be really, and that's why I'm also releasing him with a remix of Christian Burkhardt, which is a legend. So we can kind of push this talent up in the scene, and people can hear other music of him. He has other releases on other labels, of course. That's how I got into his thing. So, yeah.
You know, one of the things that I see a lot of, but this happens in our local market here, I'm not trying to
Mm.
talk bad about it or anything, but the word that comes to mind is legacy. And a lot of older people that have been in the industry for a while hold on to that thing, and they don't make way for the younger artists, and they don't nurture the younger artists in a way. And there's a lot of people I feel that kind of flounder to the right. But now we have YouTube, we have YouTube videos, we have
Yeah.
places you can go for more research rather than going to maybe the bookstore and grabbing a book saying how to start a record label, you know, or go to your local library. You can kind of find out that information much more faster, obviously online. And so, you know, but you still, it's nurturing the next generation, I think, is a key point that people need to do. I need to be doing that in my industry. I don't want to, I mean, I turn 50 next month. By the time I turn 60, I should have a team of people working underneath me doing what I'm doing and mentoring and coaching them to be the next generation of electronic music reporters, influencers, and things of that nature. So it's good that you're still working with those younger people and getting them out there.
Yes, that's important. Yeah, of course, it's important. I mean, that's somehow I'm happy to have so many different people on the label. I mean, I've been working with, and before they came on the label, they were probably not, nobody heard about them, or they're very upcoming artists. And after that, after they came on the label, they suddenly picked up their career, and then they come to other labels, and so on. And now they are actually more famous than me, some of them. So I can tell you that. So yeah, but that makes me happy in a way. That makes me happy, and it makes me also proud that and this is how. I mean, I would say my job is, of course, to sort out myself first, but I mean, also to give to the other new talents, younger ones, to come up and to be present in the scene. And yeah, this is something we should all work towards too.
Mhm. If somebody was interested in joining NG Tracks,
Hmm.
what can you give it our viewers or insights or listeners insight to what's the vetting process like for that? Is there an official online vetting process? You have like do
No,
you put that out there when somebody contacts you? If you meet these parameters, we will consider you, or
yeah.
is it
No, I
get
mean,
over here, buddy? We
usually,
like you.
yeah, exactly. No, but usually, if I meet somebody personally, I mean, they talk about their music and they want to send me something. Of course, I'm always willing to give my contacts, and they send me music, and I listen to it and I give you my feedback. Or, but I don't sit down and listen to random email sending me as a demo. This I don't do, because I've been doing it for a while, but suddenly I found myself, like we talked about before. I mean, you sit down and listen to so many things that is not really in our street.
Yeah.
So I prefer to know the kind of know if I know like I find some music somewhere on Bandcamp or something, and I say I really love the production. I was like, I can go on myself and ask the guy, "Do you have any other releases, or are you interested to do some release on Engine Tracks?" I mean, that way I do it. Or they approach me on Instagram. It's like, can I send you a demo? Can I please send you some music to listen to? Of course, I would do it. I mean, I would listen to it. But the random mails that come into my emails, those are the one I try to, like, okay, maybe I by hazard just push on one of them to listen to. But yeah, it's not so often I listen to those.
Understandable there.
So, yeah,
Um,
yeah,
going towards more events and shows and things you put on, do
yeah.
you prefer large scale festivals or would you rather DJ at more intimate club venues?
I mean, depends. I mean, I like more intimate clubs. Of course, it's more friendlier, everything. I mean, but I find myself many times on a bigger stage that I'm quite comfortable. I like it. I like to be for a bigger crowd, and I have the music also, and I know how to play it. So it's like I wouldn't mind, but mostly I would say I would like to have the intimate, smaller clubs, to have a party. You know what I mean? To have a kind of it's difficult to have a party in a big crowd. Let's say with 2,000 people, I mean, in a big stage. You can just see some hands flying in the air and something like that, but it's like you cannot really feel them. You know what I mean? But it is fun to play big parties. It is fun to play big stages
Mhm.
when you know how to, for 2 hours, just bang it on and then make people, at least you hear them scream. but
No,
but
I know. Go ahead.
but yeah, my favorite, that would, you asked me, it would be the more smaller, intimate clubs.
No,
So
I've seen a lot of tech writers, spoke with a lot of people in the
yeah,
past, and there are DJs or producers, DJs that like to feel their music and like to be where they can touch the
yeah,
audience. They can see the audience. They can see it. And they'll say, I don't play venues that are
exactly.
over 500 people, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah. No, I mean, I wouldn't mind to play them, but yeah, they're right. I mean, in a way, I like when the DJ booth is on the floor, same height as the people dancing on the floor. I don't really particularly like when the DJ booth is on the stage somewhere, and you're like, you have this up distance to the people down there. it's like it already bothers me a little bit. So I'm that kind of,
Yeah, I,
picky.
I I know. I was talking with Dr. Fresh a little bit last year. Familiar with Dr. Fresh, and he had done his tour where he had put the DJ booth in the middle of the dance floor, and then
Mm,
everyone could be around him in the dance floor, and just having that
excellent.
immersive experience rather than being up on the stage. He wanted to
Yes.
be in the crowd, be like, "What's up?
Yeah.
What's up? What's up?" I
Yeah.
mean, Dr. Fresh and his energy is just a really favorite
Yeah. Yeah.
performer, favorite artist of mine, and
Nice.
being able to see the audience and touch and be around them and what's going
That's
on,
great. Yeah.
is
That.
it'd be
It's
awesome to see
nice to
more of
have
that.
this nice to have this contact with the people, of course. In a smaller venues.
Mhm.
That's why I'm usually when I come somewhere when I'm like, is a small venue, maybe 300 capacity venue, but they still manage to put a stage on and then put a DJ booth on the stage. It's like, oh my god, you should have told me. It's like, I, it's, let me do the sound check. Maybe I could have told you, just please put it down on the floor. There's no
Mhm.
need to put a stage on somewhere, because
Yeah.
I'm tall person. I'm 195 meter, which is like, I don't know how much in the 6 foot something,
Yeah.
maybe more, and I'm quite tall, so you know, I don't need a stage. I'm a, I'm half a stage myself, so yeah.
You know, if you could change one thing that bothers you in the
Mm.
electronic music scene, what would
Yeah.
that be and how would you go about it?
Well, the things that bothers me can be mostly actually the on the promoter side. I think the promoters are after all being a little bit too much into social media, into looking at the followers, how many followers the DJs have, and that results basically on series of newcomers that has apparently they were very good on Instagram and they were very good on building their Instagram pages, and they have a lot of followers suddenly, and the promoters literally goes and takes those ones and put them on big stages and showcase them, and I don't understand that, and that can actually break my balls a little bit. And I was like, why do you do that? What is the, I mean, I saw recently somebody posted and I reposted it myself. It's like the guy is calling a record label and he sent his music and he sent this very talented guy, and the record label literally saying through the microphone we could hear, sorry, your music is amazing, it's great, we can hear your talent, blah, 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 but we look at your followers and we don't accept anyone below 50,000 followers on Instagram. I was like, what is that about? I mean, really?
Yep.
Suddenly you are just like going about only your followers on Instagram, I mean, on social media, which is like, this is outrageous for me. This is
Yeah,
absolutely
no,
yeah,
that is one
unacceptable.
of the biggest things that I've heard out there is that, yeah, it's
Yeah,
people getting bookings. And I have to tell my artists all the time too. It's like my resident DJs or even DJs I talk to, it's like, look, everyone is looking at your socials now. If you're not engaged in social media,
it's
if you're not
unbelievable.
online doing that, you could have the best track in the world. And unless you got a
Yes.
bunch of money to promote it and get it in the hands of the right people to play it, they aren't even looking at Beatport top tens anymore. They're not
No,
looking at
no.
how many times it's been downloaded or played. They're looking at what's your social media going to be like, because if I'm going to book you, you can push a button saying I'm playing here, and that should draw audience. That's what people are going to look
Yeah,
at, the
that's such a
fans, and
shame,
say,
because that's such a shame because you just downgrade totally the whole
"Yep,
talent and creativity and someone who's passionate about his work or her work. It's just like it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any sense. I mean,
yeah,
just somebody who's good at doing social media doesn't mean is artist. Where is the art?
yep."
You understand?
I
Where is
agree
the
with you
art?
100% there. I agree with you
And thi-
100%.
and this is one of the big problems we have in the scene now, in the music scene, and this goes down to the. I think I have to blame, or the record labels for the production side, and for the event side. I mean, it's the promoters. The promoters literally not enough engaged into search for the right artist and go with the right artist and with the talents and bring them out and to play and showcase them.
And that's the fundamental, that was the fundamental core of the DJ sessions, was to take artists that couldn't get booked in the clubs locally, get them on the show, put them out on a live stream, put a podcast out there, and then submit that so the world could download that podcast and they'd have an online profile, bio, its own radio show. You're familiar with that process. So, but this would also couple them with bringing artists that came to town into the studio and having them do exclusive mixes, and they could open up for those artists on our show, where they would never get that opportunity in a million years playing the politics of the local nightlife scene. So that was really a key focal point, and still is one of our key mission statements, is to work with unnamed. You don't have to have 10. You don't even have to. You do have to have an Instagram account. You do have to have a Twitter. You have to be marketable in that sense of, you have to have something out there so we can build your profile, so you can start gaining followers. But we don't put that threshold that said, we're not going to work with you because you're nobody. If somebody comes to me and said, well, if you don't have those, we'll still bring you on board, but you have to go get those and set those up so we can put them on our site. Because who wants, if you don't have something that people can follow you on, well, why? You're a bedroom DJ. If that's all you want to be, as a bedroom DJ, that's great.
That's great.
But get in because they want to entertain others.
But I mean, that's true. I mean, that's fine. But they have a dream also. Most of them have that dream to come out, to play somewhere, to release on some good label. And I mean, luckily I'm not one of those guys. So I'm like one of those guys who goes to the one that has lowest followers on Instagram, because I'm listening to his music. I'm not watching his Instagram page. I'm just like, I'm more interested into his music. I mean, that's why I have to release him. Or if I have to book somebody to one of my events, I mean, it's like, I don't really look at that. But we are talking about proper, let's say, big events, famous events, and those type of things. That we should all have kind of. They should have looked at the new talents and the upcoming talents, or the older talents that's still going on, like some of us. You know what I mean? It's like, why not? We have so much to say. We have so much to give, actually, in a way that these Instagram DJs, I call them, don't have. I mean, where is your background? Where's your backbone?
Well, I do see that, and I'm not going to try to call you old school or label it in that way, shape, or form. But you're right. What you said is key point. A lot of these, seasoned artists are like, I don't do social media. I'm not on it. I don't have time for that. I don't focus on that. And they're being looked over. It's like, oh, you say you're so great. How come you don't have 1 million followers on Facebook or 1 million followers on Instagram then? If you're so great, I can get this hot talent and they got 100,000 people. Well, how do you know those weren't bot accounts? How do you know those weren't fake accounts and they're buying fake engagements and doing all that?
I don't know. I mean, I've been okay. So, I mean, you might know better, because I've been watching some of the pages. I mean, some of the profiles, and within, let's say, 1 year from, let's say, example, within 1 year of, before was maybe the person had 10,000, 15,000, and within 1 year is 150,000. I'm like, I'm struggling since years to because mine is so organic. I don't touch it. I just posting whatever I'm doing, and that's it. I don't give it to anyone to work on it or. But I mean, in 1 year, in 12 months, from 15 to 150, I don't know if that can be organic. I don't know. Tell me.
Let's say, do you remember the movie The Princess Bride? Did you ever see that movie?
No.
Okay. It's a book that was made in a movie, but maybe some of my viewers will relate to this. I'm going to say this statement here. I know the secrets of the fire swamp. I know the secrets of, when you relate to that there was some dangers of the fire swamp in order to get through it, because it was a treacherous place. And knowing the secrets of the fire swamp, you could live there and sustain life there and know how to get through it. Okay. That's the same with the social media world. I know the tips and tricks. I've been accused of those tips and tricks. I've had people tell me, there's no way you could go from here to here and have this many followers. And they're like, look, I know what happened. Like, I can do the same thing to your channel without you knowing, and there's no way you could stop it from happening. You know, let's say a fan, I'm just going to cave some point. You have an Instagram handle, and a fan, instead of donating you $20, wants to go out there and they want to pay $20 to bot your account and add 3,000 followers or 5,000 followers. They can do that, and you can't stop them from doing that. And the only way you could delete, you'd see all those accounts come in, you'd have to go back and unfollow all those accounts. But how do you know if they're real accounts or fake accounts, and you don't want to start deleting followers? And somebody could do that and just say, hey, I don't want to pay a $5 subscription for your Twitch feed, which you're only going to get $2.50 from if you're an affiliate with Twitch. No hate on you, Twitch. Your compensation model's great. Don't worry about that. But somebody can say, I'm not going to give you $5 a month. I'll pay $5 a month, and I'll boost your live viewers, or I'll boost your Instagram, or I'll boost your X account, or I'll boost your Facebook account. And I feel good that I'm helping support you by making your numbers inflated. And there's no way you can control any of that. There are some kind of ways you might be able to control, but there really, you can't. And like you said, how do you know they got 10,000 to 150? You're right. If they played a big festival and they're in front of 25,000 people, and all the people are sitting there watching them, or 30,000 people, and they go, and they start following them on their mobile device right there. Well, then how do you know they didn't just pick up 10,000 people from that show? Or my thought is always, the new one is, people wear shirts. I got this Mackie logo on the front of me. If DJs wore their QR code on the front of their shirts, or their logo behind stage was a QR code instead of their logo, people would be like, oh, we know what to do with a QR code now. Boom. And it takes them right to their website, follow, or their link tree, or whatever it is. And they can go boom, 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 or go to their merch store and buy merch. Or if they have a live mix and they're playing the tracks, they could go buy those live mixes right through them, through their label or whatever. There's a lot you can do with technology nowadays. But you're right. Of course. How do you know what's fake and what's real out there now?
I've been approached like almost regularly every day, 2-3 times a day from Instagram. Let's say I don't know how to call them. They always offer me all kind of. I can give you 5,000 new followers. I can give you 3,000 new followers. So basically, and I'm just like always deleting them, because I'm like, okay, you want a job, basically. You want me to hire you. I have to pay something to you, and you want to inflate my numbers on my Instagram because you're offering me that. And it's like, I mean, this is. I mean, why not if you want to just have some random followers? But I mean, are they following you because of who you are? Are they following you because of the art you do? I don't know.
Well, the biggest key factor, I'll give some insight to anyone out there. Just go ahead. And I mean, I know how our followers come in because we promote everything on our website. People can come in and they can like a post, but they're probably logged into Instagram on the background. So they could like a post, but maybe they don't want to go in and comment on it. So we get tons of likes, but we get low engagement because we send people to our website. We don't tell people, go to our Instagram. We don't tell people, go to these other platforms, go to Facebook, go to Twitter. Because it's like putting a video on YouTube. When our video ends on YouTube, 9 more videos pop up to other shows they think that viewer is going to watch. When they click on that video, it takes them away from our page, and they're now on somebody else's content. And I'm like, wait a second, we host everything on our show. So we say, go to the djsessions.com. And that way everyone's stuck watching on our site, not, being bombarded by everything on the other platforms out there. So we get that retention there. But we could talk about that all day long. I'm going to wrap it up here really quick with you. A couple last final questions here. When you're not entertaining others, what do you do to entertain yourself?
Oh, yeah. Well, that's a good question. I mean, I do several things. I mean, I like to have a walk in the nature usually, because we are in such a beautiful island. Going out, just like hanging out the whole day, and going to some nice places to eat. Otherwise, I mean, I go out a lot. Sometimes in the summertime, night times, I like to go and see friends playing. Going to different shows, to different, and then I like a lot when I'm staying home. I'm watching a lot of documentary stuff. I'm watching a lot of things that I'm interested in. I mean, I'm reading a lot of politics stuff and following with the world, basically.
Yeah, we had some interesting stuff just come up here recently in the stateside stuff. Won't get into too much of the
No,
the
no, no.
politics and everything going
No,
on. But
no, no, no. I know pretty much a lot about that. So I'm quite. It's kind of a hobby for me. I would sometimes my wife's just telling me you should have been a journalist because you're just following with every single kind of on my X account. Like I can use a lot of time to read about things. So.
absolutely, tons of stuff going on. How many clubs are there in Ibiza?
I mean, the main clubs. Let's say there's around 8 to 10 clubs.
Okay.
There are some main clubs, like big clubs. Everybody knows about them. Smaller clubs, there is not so much. There is maybe 3 or 4.
Okay.
So yeah, we are talking about in general. Maybe we are talking about 20 clubs, but then just like full of beach clubs. All the small beach.
Yeah.
We call them tringitos, stuff like that. So it's many venues, but club we are talking about is maybe 8 to 10, and 4, 5 smaller clubs.
Gotcha.
So
Now,
yeah.
I don't want to get you in trouble with any of the locals there, but what would you say the best restaurant is in Ibiza? And what makes them so great?
The best ones actually. Okay, I tell you. Can I tell you numerous ones? I mean, like a few ones at least. Yeah.
I'm a foodie, so if I come there, I want to hit all these places up.
Yeah. So there is a good one near my house because I am in Sacaleta, which is an area which is quite well known for its nature and the walking path and the sea and everything. And Sacaleta restaurant, which is like 5 minutes from my place, is the most famous, iconic restaurant, like a fish restaurant since 1988. So it's been there since ever, and it's open all year long, and it's open every day. And it's called Sacaleta Restaurant. It's beautiful restaurant, beautiful spots. You have only the sea and the restaurant, and that's it. There is no house or anything nearby. And then there is another one. One of my favorite ones I go often to. It's an Argentinian restaurant. It's called Social Point. Social Point is literally Argentinian asado. Is grill, and you have the best meat. You have the best cuisine there. I mean, it's like incredible terrace, beautiful place, and it's quite nice prices. It's like humanly possible because there are a lot of expensive restaurants on this island. You just like literally cannot walk in there.
I don't know if I can change my flight plan. I'm coming over to Germany, to Berlin, as I mentioned earlier in the show and pre-show for Rave the Planet. But maybe I could look into changing my ticket. Maybe I'll have to come over and stop by and spend some time for my birthday in Ibiza. That's on my bucket list too. Or I'll just plan another trip and come out there and spend a whole weekend, or come in on a Thursday and work and then have a Friday night experience and hopefully alive for Saturday night experience.
Yeah, but let me know anytime you want to come over. I mean, I can show you around a little bit here.
Yeah,
of course,
that would be great. We can talk after the show about it. I would love to do that. It's kind of our mission statement, is to get out more on the ground. We started that process in 2022 of traveling over to ADE and being on the ground there. Awesome experience, but we definitely want to get out to more cities, more towns, and be on the ground. And
that sounds interesting.
I can do all these virtual interviews all day long, but I want to be on the ground. I want to experience the culture and the food. I want the food. That's what I want.
Maybe we can also do it from exactly. But we can do it from here as well. You know what I mean? Because
absolutely, we could set up something where we're doing a live stream. Absolutely. Very small footprint. We could talk about that after the show.
Yeah.
One last question, or a couple last questions though. If Hollywood were to make a movie about your life, who would you pick as the main actor?
I would make there's a main actor. What's his name? Jeff Blumenthal? Jeff Goldblum? Jeff Goldblum, yeah.
Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum, yeah.
Why Jeff Goldblum?
I don't know, because he's tall.
No, he's actually one of my favorite actors.
He's a very good actor. I like him. I like his style, actually.
Yeah, about 25 years ago, I was sitting around. It's funny you bring him up. I was sitting around a room and people were bringing up their favorite actors, late night, after party type thing. And they come around and they go, Darren, who's your favorite actor? And I just said, Jeff Goldblum.
Mm.
And they looked at me all weird, like, why would you choose Jeff Goldblum? I'm like,
I know.
he's so amazing. His character, how he does his nuances,
Yes.
and he can come off as a character. I just love what he
No.
does. Everyone's choosing their top people. I'm like, no, Jeff Goldblum.
I know. It's just, it's too many top people. Like I don't know. And somehow I resonate myself into my look, maybe more, and because I'm tall and I'm like gray hair and So yeah, he would suit my character, I think.
Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
Nima, is there anything else you want to let our DJ Sessions fans know about before we let you go?
Well, I mean, go on the ngtracks.com and you can follow with all the releases there, which is like I'm trying to also focus on my website. ngtracks.com is easy, and I also post. I mean, we are doing all our events there, everything there from the label events, and ngtracks bookings. And collaborations, for example, with fan bookings of Chile, which I'm working with also, and everything that is like basically concerning my events and my bookings and my and also the other artists. So we have this booking agency called ngtracks Bookings. So ngtracks.com, definitely something everybody should go into.
Best place for people to find out more information about you online. Where is that at?
So as I said on Instagram, go on Instagram page, basically Nima Gorji 72, right there on the screen. There you can see the link tree with all the informations there, and then from there you can also see ngtracks Instagram. You can see join Instagram. You can see everything. So
awesome, yeah. Nima Gorji 72 on Instagram, and the link tree is there. Check them out. Find out more information about everything they got going on with ngtracks radio shows. If you want to party in Ibiza, if you want to go eat in Ibiza, place to go. Go watch the episode. Go get the names of those places. We're going to talk about that off camera here a little bit later, and we'll invite you. We'll have you back on the show, Nima, again in the future. We always like to stay in contact with the artists that come on the show, because I know you're always up to something new, something going on with all the artists you represent, events happening. It'll be cool.
One more thing. Let me mention one more thing. Just don't forget the YouTube channel, please, because I'm struggling to get subscribers on YouTube channel. Please go on to YouTube, Nima Gorji, subscribe. There is full of music. There is full of sets there from all my radio shows and also my new tracks and everything. So Nima Gorji YouTube channel, please subscribe.
Awesome, Nima Gorji YouTube channel. All right, so the YouTube channel. Awesome. Yeah. Well, again, thank you so much for coming on the show today, or evening.
Thank you for inviting.
Over
there. Yes, it's getting darker. So thank you for inviting. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Awesome. Definitely a pleasure to have you on again. It's been too long. Have a wonderful evening.
Okay, bye. I hope next time you come into Ibiza, we do it from here directly.
You know what? We're gonna talk after that, after the show. Stay on camera with me. Stay with me. We'll talk about that. But on that note, don't forget to go to our website, thedjsessions.com, where you can find all our social media links. Check out our past episodes, over 2,500 episodes, exclusive live interviews, exclusive mixes, over 600 news stories populated to our website that come in from all over the globe, keeping you in touch with what's happening in the electronic music world. All of that and more. Our virtual reality nightclub, our new app is going to be, our revamped app is going to be re-released. And all that and more at thedjsessions.com. Oh, and get some cool merch. I know I'm repping Mackie because they're one of our sponsors, but there's some cool merch on our site as well at thedjsessions.com. I'm your host, Darren, coming to you from the virtual studios in Seattle, Washington. And that's Nima Gorji coming in from Ibiza, Spain for the DJ Sessions. And remember, on the DJ Sessions, the music never stops.